Hello, friends. I know I told you that this week would be a normal week. Woke up a little under the weather on Sunday and going to go try to um, go to the doctor, see if I can get some medicine to help me out. Because I sure don't want to bring anything into the classroom for y'all to catch. I also told you that we would not waste time and that we would move forward, and that's exactly what I plan to do. So let's get moving. So this week our text is titled 11 by Sandra Cisneros, and this is day one. So we see here that Sandra Cisneros, she's a poet, a short story writer, a novelist, an essayist, and an artist who seeks to explore the lives of the working class, those who receive lower pay, and the jobs frequently require physical labor through her work. She's won many awards, including the National Medal of the Arts. Her novel, The House on Mango Street, has sold over 6 million copies and has been published in 25 different languages. Alright, so at this time, if you do not already have it in front of you, I'm going to ask that the teacher that is in the room go ahead and pause the video. You should have this in Google Classroom, everything you need, have that text in front of you, and there's also some paper copies in the classroom as well. So just pause the video right here. As soon as everybody's got everything that they need, they've got the text in front of them, and they're ready to go, then resume the video. Alright, moving right along. Everybody should have everything in front of them at this point. This is nothing new. We're going to take a look at some vocabulary. But I told you we were going to focus a little stronger on our vocabulary and the approach to it in the coming weeks as we get ready to finish out this year. So here you've got your vocabulary words, tells you the paragraphs where they're located. Nothing new. But if you remember last week, we started talking more about context clues. So as you're reading through the text and you're highlighting, underlining the words in the text, look at how they're being used. Remember, if I would take this word rattling, which is your first word, and I look up a definition, it's going to say something like making a sharp series of short, sharp knocking sounds, denoting something very good of its kind, used for emphasis, a rattling good story. So this is going to be something like shaking. And in this story, you do see that because we see in the sentence that it's used, only today I wish I didn't have only 11 years rattling inside me like pennies in a tin Band-Aid box. Now we do know that rattling, that pennies in a tin box, if you've ever seen anything like that, or just pennies in a box in general, you shake it, it's going to rattle. But the author here seems to be making a connection between being 11 years old and pennies rattling in a box. So an 11-year-old only has 11 years of life. And if I have a box that only has 11 pennies in it, it's going to rattle a lot more than somebody, like it says later in this paragraph, today I wish I was 102 instead of 11. Because 102, there's going to be a lot more pennies and you're not going to get nearly as much rattling. So as you're looking at this, don't just look at that definition, what you find in the dictionary, but also look at how it's connecting in the story. Alright, and so at this point, just like we did a minute ago, go ahead and pause the video and give students about 10 minutes, 15 minutes to read through the text, find these words, and kind of start making those context connections. Alright, remember, it's not important that you have the dictionary definition of the word. What is important is that you understand what it is that you are reading. Alright, so go ahead and pause this now. Give students about 10 or 15 minutes and they should be highlighting, underlining the words in the text, and jotting down some connections that they are making with the vocabulary, just as I gave in the example just a minute ago. Alright, so same thing, you've done this before. Look back into the text, look at these questions you have here in your writer's notebook. If for some reason you don't have your writer's notebook, a piece of paper will work for today since I'm not there to help find your notebook. Jot down some brief answers to this question. Remember, these are not, we're not looking for big long paragraph answers. We're just jotting down some thoughts. And then the teacher in the room is going to give you some time to partner up with somebody, discuss these questions, see if you're in agreement, if you're not in agreement, see if you kind of went in different directions. Sometimes you may have two different answers that are both good answers, and just have a little bit of discussion. Alright, so same thing. We're going to pause the video, give about 10 or 15 minutes or whatever you think is necessary, and allow the students to read back through the text and answer these questions. Alright, so I hope you had some good conversation about those questions in my absence. So we're going to move on, and we're going to do a quick summary of the story. You can just fill in these blanks here. So the author, you can look back at the text, see who that author is, wrote a, what do you think the genre of the story is? Story title, we know that that's 11, right up here at the top. The story took place, so when and where do you think it took place? In the story, the main characters, so who were the main characters? And then what was the problem that they were trying to solve, and how was the problem resolved? Was it resolved? It may not have been. So just take a few minutes. Again, pause the video right here. Give students a few minutes, and then give them a few minutes to kind of share what they have. And then resume the video when you think everyone's had significant time to finish this. You're going to do this in your writer's notebook or on a piece of paper if you do not have your writer's notebook with you today. Alright, so the last thing we're going to do with this story today is our writing out of the day. And so you have this prompt here. It says, Rachel states that she wishes she were 102 rather than 11. What might be different if 11 if she were older? List 2 reasons why you believe this. So if this story was somebody that was older, maybe 20, 30, it doesn't, the prompt doesn't say anything specific. What do you think might be different in the story? And then give 2 reasons why you believe this. Take a moment, share it with your classmates, have a little conversation about it, and that will conclude this lesson. And you will move on to the next lesson that I have for you, where we'll take a look back at those articles of the week that we started talking about last week.